This is Todd from OneShot API. This is our submission for the MetaMask Dev Cook-off for Smart Accounts, Monad, and Envio. OneShot API is an enterprise-grade transaction engine for the EVM ecosystem. It features a tight integration of the MetaMask Smart Accounts framework. It lets builders create workflows and apps that can execute transactions on behalf of users even when they are not online. It does this by providing builders with a way to store signed delegations on behalf of smart account users. When a transaction needs to occur for the user, OneShot API automatically looks up a compatible delegation if it exists, packages it up, and hits the MetaMask Delegation Manager singleton, which abstracts away a lot of the boilerplate and complexity that you would otherwise need to deal with. So it makes it much easier to get the full capability out of the MetaMask Smart Account framework with very little overhead. One of the most unique things about OneShot API is that it has verified integrations for the most popular automation platforms, which include N8N, If This Then That, and Make. So you can build non-custodial on-chain automations today with OneShot API. Now, I would like to walk you through the service quickly. If we go to OneShot API, you can create a free account. The first thing that you'd want to do is come to the Wallets tab and create a server wallet. A server wallet is needed in order to relay delegated transactions on behalf of smart account users. Simply click the Create a New Wallet button, give it a name and a description and the target chain. Hit confirm and it will provision a secure server wallet for you. All you need to do is deposit into that address just enough gas to process the transaction volume that you were expecting for your application or for your workflow. Once you have a server wallet provisioned, you can come to My Smart Contracts, and you must import the smart contract methods or events that you want to interact with in your application or workflow. So let's take the wrapped Monad contract as an example. We support the Monad testnet in OneShot API. So if we copy that address, come back to OneShot API and hit import, we'll put that address here and point it at the Monad testnet and hit fetch. It'll detect the verified ABI and then give you the options of write and read functions as well as events that you can import into your organization. So you can either click Create Methods for All, which will import all of the functions, or you can choose an individual function or event and import them individually. Now if you come back to My Smart Contracts, you'll see these are the methods that we can call with our server wallet on this chain. So let's try to do that in N8N quickly. If we come here and add in our blank workflow a OneShot API verified node, and let's do execute a smart contract, we can then point the node at one of the functions that we imported. Let's do approve and give it the parameters. So it takes guy and it takes WAD, and if we give guy a target, and then we'll also put a memo on this transaction so we can remember why we did it. And we can simply hit execute at this point. Now if we come back to OneShot API and go to transaction history, here is our approval that we just ran. And we can click on it and see the details in the Block Explorer. You can also read smart contract events. So if we add another node, this time we'll add a OneShot N8N node for searching for contract event logs. So we can search for approval because we just performed an approval transaction. And we can additionally add topic filters. So for the approval event, there is a source and a guy indexed topic. We'll do it on source. So here if we type source and then we put the address of our server wallet, and hit execute, there is our approval transaction that we just ran. And I want to emphasize that contract event reads are actually being processed by the Envio HyperRPC API service. So OneShot API has integrated Envio into its service so that event reads are fast and efficient. Now let's do a setup for a delegated execution inside of N8N just so you can see what that workflow looks like. And we'll do it on a different chain just to mix it up. Let's do it on Sepolia. If we come to OneShot prompts, this actually has pre imported smart contracts. So for instance, if we filter on Sepolia, here's USDC Sepolia, and we can just import approve again here, add one contract method. If we come back to my smart contracts, there it is. So let's call this approve as a delegated address. So we need to add a delegation. So on our Sepolia wallet, you can add a delegation from the user interface. Let's give it a start and end date. And we're going to limit this as a caveat on the USDC smart contract. Hit create delegation, which will ask us to sign. And you can see here it is stored in One-Shot API. This is not the only way to store delegations in One-Shot API. You can also use our SDKs inside of your applications to list, create, and delete delegations that you've stored from your application. So here, if we add a new node, this time we will execute as delegator, and we will choose the approve function on USDC Sepolia. This takes a spender and a value. So the spender, we can just give it any address. And then the delegator is the address that we added the delegation for in the One-Shot API portal. Place that here, and then again we'll add a memo so we know why we did this. Okay, and at this point we can hit execute. You can see here, here's the details. If we come back to One-Shot API and go to the transaction history, here is our delegated approval that we performed on Sepolia. And if we look at the logs, there's the approval. And then here is the redeem delegation. So you can see One-Shot API not only automatically looked up the stored delegation required to perform this transaction for the target delegator, but it also packaged it up and hit the delegation manager smart contract for us. We did not have to know how to do any of that, all built into One-Shot API. So thanks for watching our quick pitch video. We've also attached a demo video of a more complete N8N workflow. Thanks for watching, and we look forward to the results of the competition.